Good day, everybody. Today's January 6, 2025. I'm Connor McIver. Let's get into today's real estate show. First, I'm going to talk about tax mortgage interest deductions for your taxes. Again, I'm not a CPA, not a tax professional, but it's something that you might want to pay attention to, especially if you're itemizing your deductions off your taxes and not just going for the standard deduction somewhere in the realm of 27 grand if you happen to be a couple, and I believe it's around 13 grand if you happen to be a single filer. Now, that's something to follow up with your tax person. With regard to mortgage interest, there's a certain amount you can write off, and if you have pay into taxes more than just those standard amounts, itemizing might be the best thing, and then you get to actually write off that mortgage interest. So that's something to look at if you're considering buying. Most people just look at buying and they say, well, it's a good fit for me. I want to be a property owner. And of course, you're going to get that equity build over time. That's what the historical values show. But the question then is, what other advantages can you get when it comes to the taxes on your property and those sorts of things? So these are other things to explore when you're considering buying real estate, and maybe that makes more sense to you to buy in that regard, or maybe it doesn't, but at least you go in knowing, and that's really part of that process. Recently, just looking at everything that's happening in the market, I'll give you that quick snapshot so we see where the real estate market is currently. 9 listings are coming soon, 45 new listings, 27 properties have had their prices changed, 13 properties have gone back on market, 18 properties have gone into escrow, 20 have gone deeper into escrow in that pending status. That's a status that is chosen typically when a real estate listing has a very good chance of actually finishing the process. In addition to that, the agents do not want to get any more lead generation off of that listing or more phone calls by other agents. Basically, if it's in the other status, active under contract, that means they wouldn't mind if it was still shown to potential buyers just in case the deal falls out of escrow. They have backup offers to go to. In this market, in the market that's going to be happening in 2 or 3 months, more than likely we're going to have that multiple offer scenario really start to move forward, as we see typically every year. We have, at least for the last several, as we get into the springtime and summertime and late winter. Barring that, we're going to watch the real estate market continue. Interest rates are going to stay steady for this next year, pretty much. They're probably not going to change much at all. We will have an increase in prices due to the supply and demand. We do have a lot of listings out there, but not enough to actually satisfy that current buyer drive we're watching in all aspects of the real estate market. Even during the holiday season, we're seeing we still have a very considerable buying drive. We have 32 properties that closed in this last 7 days. 32 properties actually sold to new homeowners in these last 7 days in all of Santa Clarita Valley cities. So we're watching as the market is continuing to move, even through the holidays. Now, this first week of January, it hasn't been anything significant. There haven't been a lot of home runs hit, but we will see this start to pick up. I did a show the other day on Valencia, California, just looking at the real estate market specifically over the last 5-year trend, and then all the way back to 2011. Actually, I started 2007 when we first had the fall of the subprimer back there, where the real estate market collapsed and the economy tanked. We watched as the property prices reduced from that point at the end of 2011, and in Valencia's case, February of 2012 was the bottom of the last real estate cycle. And from then, if you had that whole bunch of money and you went out and bought a whole bunch of properties, now you'd be a bazillionaire. Probably, maybe not a bazillionaire, but it depended on how much. But right now, those properties were in the 350s, 360s at the low point, and then you move into today for those same properties that are in the 900s, just lower than $1 million. So you can see how that trend has continued, and that is real estate as a whole. So besides that, 24 properties expired on escrow. That's not unusual because sometimes people put their properties on the market and that expiration date, usual listings are 6 months, but that expiration date can run to the actual calendar year. So that number's a little higher than we normally see, but that's what's happening. Canceled listings 7, on hold properties 4, and withdrawn properties have been for as well. So these are properties that have been taken off of the market, probably to do some kind of adjustment. Right now, if you have that competition with somebody else in your neighborhood trying to sell their house, it's going to depend on their motivation and where their price point happens to be in comparison to yours. But if they've done things to their residence and you're priced the same and you haven't done anything to yours in the form of upgrades that might match theirs, maybe renovations, maybe just basic property management, you could be putting yourself behind the ball when it comes to selling your property, because people are going to be, well, what's the advantage of theirs? Why not buy this one? Price point does matter. We will see that buyer drive continue to increase throughout this first and second quarter of 2025. And then by the time we get into the summer, we'll probably be full swing into real estate transactions. Right now, about 436 active homes on the market for sale, all total in Santa Clarita Valley, all across all of the cities. That's going to be Acton, Agua Dulce, all the way through Castilla, Canyon Country, Newhall, Saugus, Stevenson Ranch, and Valencia. I got a call the other day by a group, one individual. It wasn't AI, it was an actual person, and they were very excited to tell me that they want to publicize me in their magazine, their real estate magazine. I was very excited. They said that because of my productivity, because of the content I've been writing, they want to put me in the magazine. So, at the very, I was kind of honored, but I fell into that trap that I warn agents against. So then the next thing was, it's only going to cost you $695. And I said, well, what kind of an award is that costs me money to be able to claim it or to try to get the benefits of it? Anyway, the lead generation company, or the company itself, is a publication company that has a business model built around making agents look like they've won awards. So they put that out there in that form. Again, they probably do some kind of a social media blast. Whenever you see somebody getting an award, unless it's the Emmy, and there's probably a lot of behind the scenes stuff with that, but if it's real estate or other businesses, I'd be curious if you would ask the question, where's that award coming from? And then the next tongue-in-cheek question is, how much did it cost that agent to get? I'm Connor with Honor. Please check out SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com. I did publish a book recently and have copies of that available. Just reach out to me. You can also buy it on Amazon as well. It would be my pleasure to help you whenever you're ready. I'm Connor with Honor. Have a fantastic day. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about Stevenson Ranch and other real estate tips and tricks that will help you throughout the process. We'll talk to you soon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Connor with Honor. Over and out.